Welcome back to Trader UK, Adam here. If you are just starting out with the stock market and maybe looking to make your first investment, then you might be wondering which trading app is best to go with. In today's video, I'll be revealing what I consider to be the best trading app for beginner investors. Now, I actually have a fair amount of experience trialing different platforms across the past couple of years, and even now I split my portfolio across 3 different apps, all of which I like but for different reasons. But this video is all about new investors getting a foot in the door. So rather than looking at the most powerful features, we'll be looking more at usability and the cost. To do this, I'm going to give you a brief overview of 4 different options that you have available to you, all of which I have dabbled with myself. I'll tell you what they do well, what they don't do so well, followed by the recommendation of the app that I would choose were I to start out in the stock market over again. First of all, thanks for watching, but if I could also ask you to like the video for me, that'd be very helpful. And of course, if you haven't already, then subscribe for more similar content. Now, the first investment platform or trading app that I want to bring to your attention is called Freetrade. These guys are UK based, they're regulated by the FCA, and they have about 700,000 users as per their website. From a beginner's perspective, the best things about this app are: number 1, usability. The interface is very user-friendly. Buying and selling is about as simple as you can get, so you shouldn't have any issues making your first investment. Number 2, as the name suggests, this is a free trading app. Now, in reality, there is no such thing, but this is about as close as you're going to get. No commission charges, no monthly charges on the basic account anyway. It's just a small FX fee on foreign transactions that you'll have to stomach. Number 3 is the availability. I have never seen a waiting list to join Freetrade. Most of its competitors at some point over the past year or so have had a waiting list for new sign-ups. With Freetrade, you should be able to sign up and get started as soon as your first deposit clears. And then finally, number 4, fractional shares. Really useful for beginners, as you won't need to spend $3,500 to buy a single Amazon share, as you'll have the ability to buy part of a share. Very useful when you're only investing a smaller amount of money, which is often the case to start with. On the downside, they do operate a subscription model on top of their free account. So if you wanted to add certain features like additional order types or investing via an ISA or a self-invested pension plan, then you would need to pay a monthly fee for that. Number 2, compared to some of the other apps, their offering can be a little bit limited. It's US and UK based companies that you can invest in with Freetrade, but nothing outside of those markets, which may be a problem for some new investors. And number 3, there are no advanced features here, so you may find that in 6 months' time you're on the search again for a new investment platform. The second app is eToro, which is actually Israeli based but registered and regulated in the UK and US as well, and has over 20 million users worldwide. So this is on a whole other level in terms of the size. As for the best features that new users can enjoy, number 1, crypto investing. Now, I'm not saying that beginner investors should be jumping into crypto or not. I'm just saying it's a good feature to have available that most other platforms don't actually offer. Number 2, again, it's the pricing. It's actually a little bit harder to see this with eToro because they make their money in the spread, which is the difference between the buy and the sell price. But I've tested this platform side by side with all the other platforms that I'll mention today. I made the exact same share purchase at the exact same time and then resold that share at the exact same time to see which platform gave me the better result in a real world situation. eToro was actually one of the best performing platforms, so I have to rate them highly for price. And number 3 is that the availability is also good. There should be no queuing to join the eToro platform. On the negative side, the usability isn't great. So if you're just starting out, it's a little bit difficult to find your way around. Even finding where to close a position can be a bit difficult at first. I've also experienced a lot of downtime. This is actually the app I use the least, but experienced the most downtime, which is not a good sign. It means at times, because the app wasn't functioning correctly, I haven't been able to open or close positions when I actually wanted to. And finally, the advanced features are not separated from the basic features. And what I mean by this is that you can set out with the intention of buying a share in Amazon and follow what seems the most logical route to do that, but you end up opening a short position, which is the absolute opposite of what you intended to do. Unless you actually know your way around, this can easily happen. The third app to consider is called Trading 212, which has over 15 million downloads and is widely used across Europe. From a beginner's point of view, the features I was most impressed with were: number one, the usability. Now, this is a very powerful platform suitable for beginners, but also more experienced investors as well. But the way it's set out makes it very, very user-friendly and not overbearing for new users. If you do struggle, they provide video tutorials built into the app to help you understand. Number two is the pricing, and although I rated the pricing of the first two apps highly, Trading 212 is hands down the cheapest, most transparent trading platform I've used. And when I was testing the pricing against the others in the real world situation, it always came out on top. Not just when buying and selling shares, but features like the built-in ISA account are free on the Trading 212 app, whereas others make you pay for that feature. Number three, fractional investing. Trading 212 also allows users to buy part shares, which is ideal for some of those bigger share prices like Amazon, Google, and even Tesla and Netflix. The negatives for Trading 212 are there is very high demand. So there have been times when you have to join a waiting list before you can open your account, which isn't ideal when you're ready to make your first investment. There is also no crypto investing. For me, that isn't a problem. And of course, there are plenty of crypto specific platforms out there, but I get that a lot of people will be looking to dabble in crypto. And sometimes it is nice to keep everything under one roof. And as standard, you are given access to a CFD account or contract for differences. You don't have to use this, but as it gives you access to leverage and more complicated instruments, for a beginner, if you did accidentally find yourself in the CFD account, you could find yourself a little bit lost. The final app to look at is DEGIRO, based out of the Netherlands, and this was the app that I personally started out with. The positives of DEGIRO are: it's easy to use. Most of the advanced features like leverage, options, and warrants are all locked away under a different account type that you need to take a competence test in order to unlock. This means that you shouldn't open up any positions that you didn't intend on opening. You'll also have access to most investments. Whenever I've been struggling to find certain smaller companies on other platforms, I'll usually turn to DEGIRO, and they've always come up with the goods. Very useful if the companies you want to invest in are a little less mainstream. I also haven't seen any restrictions, so if you're part of the Wall Street Bets or the Reddit community, you'll be pleased to know that unlike most of the other platforms, DEGIRO didn't block its users from trading GameStop or AMC when they were really in the spotlight. As for the negatives, it's the most expensive of the apps that I've mentioned. When I tested them side by side, unfortunately, DEGIRO always came out in last place because they're the only platform that still charge a transaction fee to the users. On top of this, some of the features that you might want access to, like real-time information, can come with a charge if you haven't traded on your account recently. There's also no option to invest via an ISA, which is a shame. This is something most other apps offer, even if it's a paid for add-on, but with DEGIRO, they just haven't gotten around to it yet. And there's no fractional investing either, meaning you have to buy whole shares. So if you want to invest in Amazon, like we mentioned earlier, then you'll need at least $3,500 to start. Not ideal for beginners. So in total, I've been through 4 different options, all of which had a number of positives and a number of negatives for new users. But if I had to recommend one app for beginner investors, then there is actually a clear winner here, and that is Trading 212. Not only is it the cheapest, but it's also the easiest to use, and it has all the features you will want to see as you gain more experience in the market. In short, you won't outgrow this app once you've spent 6 months in the market like you might with the others. Now, I hope you found that useful. I appreciate that not everyone will agree, so I'm always interested to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your preference, and if you have any other apps that I should be checking out and adding to the list. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.